Hello, my name is Fairy Belle, and I'm a book fairy. Today, we're reading a story called The Pink Pirate. Read along with me. Georgia had spent her whole life at sea. As a baby, she would crawl around the deck with balloons tied to her nappy for when she fell overboard. By the time Georgia was 4, she could swim and even do backflips off the gangplank. Georgia was the daughter of the famous Ginger John, captain of the Jolly Jellyfish. Ginger John had always hoped for a son to become captain of his ship when he became too old to pillage and plunder. Now that she was nearly 6, she could hoist the mainsail all by herself. Georgia desperately wanted to learn how to steer the ship, but that was the captain's job, and her father said that girls couldn't be captains. More than anything else in the world, all Georgia wanted was to be a pirate captain like her father. So every day, Georgia practiced her pirating sword skills. She could climb to the top of the rigging faster than any of the crew. From the crow's nest, she could spot a ship as tiny as a dot on the horizon. But because she was a girl, Ginger John made her wear a pink dress with buttons and bows and told her to run and hide when the real pirate fun began. One beautiful day on the high seas, the Jolly Jellyfish sailed towards the Sunnyside Islands. As they approached, a dark, sinister ship appeared out of nowhere. Waving in the wind was the skull and crossbones flag of the dreaded pirate Black Boots. He was the meanest of all pirates. Shouting at Georgia to go below deck, Ginger John grabbed his sword and prepared to defend his ship. From the galley, Georgia could hear Captain Black Boots stomping onto the deck. She could hear the crew of the Jolly Jellyfish scuttling helter-skelter to avoid being caught. Then everything went quiet. Georgia felt the ship begin to move with the swell of the tide. No one was steering. This was her chance to prove just how good a pirate she could be. Running to the captain's quarters, Georgia grabbed Ginger John's spare sword and hat. Standing on her tiptoes, she could just see over the wheel. Pulling with all her might, the ship began to turn. Using her best captain's voice, she shouted, "Captain Blackboots, surrender or suffer the consequences." Captain Blackboots laughed so hard that his parrot fell off his shoulder and into a barrel of rum. Georgia leapt from the side of the Jolly Jellyfish and onto the rigging above Captain Blackboots' head. She climbed to the top of the mainsail, and with a slash of her sword, the heavy canvas fell right on top of Captain Blackboots and his crew. Ginger John scooped up the trapped buccaneers and threw them back onto their own boat, like fish too small to keep. He lifted Georgia up and said, "There be no better pirate than the girl I have on me shoulders." The crew clapped and cheered. 3 cheers for Georgia, the pink pirate. Pirate Georgia sailed away into the sunset, knowing deep in her heart that you can be anything you want to be, as long as you believe in yourself. And that's the end of the story.